but a big part, you know, that came actually the thing that was a recurring theme with all three, and that I'm making sure is not going to be happening again in the future, and we came up with animals, because I'm allergic to cats and to dogs. I'm not as allergic to dogs as I am to cats, but
it's just the pet dander in general.
Exactly. It's one of those things, like, you know, like if I, you know, get it in my eyes, I break out into hives, and if I'm around it for too long, I'll end up like having trouble breathing, you know. And so with that first relationship, the 3-year one, she, you know, had, you know, she was living with her parents at the time, and she had, you know, like 2 or 3 cats and a dog, and it was something where, you know, she understood my allergies, so I didn't always go over there as much. And like even when I tried to, you know, I wanted to spend the night over, you know, just, you know, to do that, because she was always spending the night at my place. But, you know, it's, you know, I wanted to spend the night with her at her place, you know, I wanted to do that for her, but it got to the point where halfway through the night I had to leave because I could barely breathe.
Sure. So in all 3 of your relationships, you bottom line here is you can't be around animals. So one of the first things you should think about is say, by the way, I'm allergic to animals. So is this ever going to be an issue?
Exactly. and that's, I'm getting to that, yes.
Yeah, that would be one of the first things with you.
Exactly, definitely. So, and that was something that I did try to establish early on. So like with the first girlfriend, she seemed to understand. She was very caring, you know, and seemed to understand, you know, that I, you know, had these issues. And she was fine with not having it. When we ended up getting our own place together, she was fine for a while with not having an animal. But then over time, she started to go like, you know, I'm feeling, you know, real lonely in here, you know, especially when I'm doing shows or whatever, or at work, you know, she wanted something there, you know. And she eventually, you know, after I'm trying to tell her, you know, because she's trying to guilt trip me into getting, you know, a dog. She understood, you know, that if I couldn't have a cat, but she wanted a dog. And it's like, you know, well, part of the whole reason why we moved to that particular place in Kenosha was because she wanted to be closer to her family. This way, her family was like right down the road. She could go visit her cats and her dog anytime she wanted.
Okay, so let's talk about what are some of the things in a relationship for you that, because I've heard for the last 3 relationships, I've heard from you what they've done wrong. Let's talk about what you did wrong. In all relationships, there's a 2-way street, okay? And both males and females that I help counsel, I hear a lot of what they did wrong and what they did wrong. But what one needs to really do is turn and look at what you did wrong, and or where you can learn from a relationship. You know, learn from your rights and your wrongs. It's not, at any given point, is it ever all someone else's fault that it didn't work out, okay? Oh, yeah. So what I would encourage you to do is look at your compromises, look at what you're picking to begin with. You know, why? Make a list of what your likes and dislikes, you know, in a person. What do you need that's going to fit you like a glove? Like, what's going to fit you? You know, make a list of those things so that you're not picking a new relationship based on what you didn't do in the last relationship. Okay? Focus it around what your needs are. You know, and then you're going to start finding, because it sounds like you're a pretty solid person within yourself, you know, confident and solid, which is a good characteristic. So if you were to go and write down your likes and dislikes about a person, okay, and then as you meet a person, you can literally check off those lists that would meet you. You know, from a little bit I know about you have a love for X-Men. So if you find someone and you can't talk with them about X-Men and they think that's silly, you know, straight out of the box, that's not a fit for you right there. Okay?
Exactly.
So you have to make this checklist of what you want out of a relationship.
Oh yeah, that's definitely something.
So that you physically, on paper, know what you're looking for.
I've dated, so I've gone out with and I've talked to some like gorgeous girls, like more gorgeous than you could believe, but they couldn't hold a 2-minute conversation, so it's not really worth my time. And if they're not into it, then I really don't feel offended at that point.
So for you, what I'm hearing you say is, for you, it's more about the person and not the exterior.
Absolutely, definitely. It helps to have the exterior. I'm not going to lie. That definitely is a plus. Well, but it's what's in here that matters way more than any of this. if they don't have it here, then it doesn't, matter if they have it here. That's what I'm trying to say.